Hey, I play in a wedding and event band that plays over 50 songs a gig. We're constantly teaching new songs and constantly rotating new musicians in and out of the lineup. And we never, ever practice, and we rarely mess up. In this video, I'm gonna tell you exactly how we do that. Before we get in the bulk of the video, if you find content like this helpful, please like and subscribe, hit the notification button, all those things, comment down below. Your support means a lot and helps us continue to make content like this. For me, as the music director of this band, there are 4 key things I do to help ensure every gig goes flawless, even though we're not going to have a rehearsal. The first one is resourcing. The second one is ensuring individual preparation. The third is the use of Ableton Live. And the fourth is the use of a live music director or MD that actually has a talkback mic. Let's walk through all those now. Step 1 is resourcing. We as a band use a resource called Planning Center Online. If you're in the church space or you're a worship musician, you probably know what this is, but if you're not, you may not. So this, it's not really an app, but I guess this website, this application is unbelievably helpful. It helps us do a few things. The first is it helps us schedule our musicians. So you'll get an email from us that says, hey, Richie, you've been requested to play guitar, and you get to accept or decline. And then the second piece, which is critical to this part, is it lets us have songs, so it's the set list. And then every song can host files that has resources to it. It can have a chord chart, it can have an MP3, it can have basically anything we want to help resource our musicians. So here's how we resource our musicians. It starts with an MP3, and not just any MP3. I want to make sure this MP3 is in the exact key we plan on playing the song, and I want to make sure this MP3 is in the exact arrangement that we're going to play the song. Typically, we don't play the whole version of any song. It's very normal for us on a song like Levitating by Dua Lipa to play the intro, the verse, the chorus, another verse, maybe 2 more choruses, and then go straight to the outro. So instead of having a recording up there that is in the original key and is the arrangement we're not going to even play, I take that recording, I put it in Ableton Live, I pitch it to the right key, and then I chop that recording up to put it in the exact arrangement we plan on playing it. In the future, after we've played the song a few times, I'll typically take a live recording from our band and put it on Planning Center. That way, when our musicians are practicing, they can be practicing to the exact arrangement they'll be playing live. The next piece of the equation for us with the use of Planning Center is making a chord chart, and not just any chord chart, but a really, really good chord chart. So for us, we use the kind of fairly typical chord names over the words type chart, which I know is a no-no in a lot of worlds, but for us it's helpful. Here's what I mean by a good chord chart though. It means I've listened to it and make sure the chords are actually correct, and it means the chord chart is the exact arrangement of what we plan on playing. So in the example I gave a minute ago, there's no reason for the chord chart for Levitating for us to have the bridge in it, because we're not going to play the bridge. But it does make sense for it to say chorus and have the chords, and then say chorus and have the chords again. That way a musician can just read it straight down. And the other thing I try to always make sure is on Planning Center is a recording of the backing track we will use. This is super helpful. It lets the musician play along to exactly what they'll hear the night of the gig. They would love to know, is the count in 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bars? What's the count in like? What's the outro sound like? Does it say ending? Does it say end? So just being able to practice to that is extremely helpful. I would love to hear in the comment section below, whether you're a music director at a church, or maybe you're in a cover band, or maybe you're an original band. How do you help resource your musicians? How do you help make sure that y'all can all learn songs? Comment below. Step 2 of this process is just making sure musicians know that they need to be prepared. I set the expectations up really early. So when I'm asking a new musician to do the gig, I ensure them before they even say yes to the gig. Hey, just so you know, there won't be any rehearsals for this, and at most we had a 20-minute sound check. So do you feel comfortable learning 50 songs, basically, and never getting to practice them? And most of the time I've learned musicians, they're really honest. Yeah, I've got time to do that, or no, I don't have time to do that. Another way that I make sure musicians prepare is we use an app called Music Stand. Music Stand is made by the same company that does Planning Center. On this app, they can use an iPad, pull up all the charts we've made, and they can use an Apple Pencil or a stylus or whatever to make notes on there. So you'll see a drummer make notes on his chart about drums in, out, those kind of things. You'll see a singer, highlight certain keywords or even write out notation for melodies. So being able to mark up their charts like that and us all be synced together on the same app. So on that app, if we were to delete a song out of the set list, it would delete it off of everybody's iPad app essentially, is really helpful and critical for us. The third way we're able to play and not rehearse is through the use of Ableton Live. We have an Ableton Live session that hosts all of our songs. It has a click track and guide cues to every song, and it allows us a lot of flexibility. I go in a ton of detail on that in a video that I'll link in the description below. But Ableton helps us for the obvious reason that remembering the arrangement to 50 songs would be insane. So having guide cues that says verse or chorus, kind of just prompting us, reminding us what to do, also in alignment with these chord charts that are an exact arrangement of what we do, really helps us stay on track. The other way Ableton helps us not have to practice is that on one hand, while it keeps us in a fence, it keeps us in a box, it's also incredibly flexible. So if we get off, I'm able to move us to another song section. Or if we want to vamp for a while, I'm able to loop a song section endlessly. If we decide in the moment we want to skip a song, that's really easy to do. So it's the perfect blend of kind of keeping us in the reins, kind of keeping us in the fence, and at the same time creating a lot of freedom so that if we do quote unquote mess up, there is no mess up. We can just make Ableton play to us and play to do what we're doing. So again, if you're interested in hearing more about that, you can click the link below. The final way we're able to play so much music without rehearsal is through the use of a live MD or a music director. This means that one of our musicians on stage always has a mic that goes only to the band's in-ears and to no one else. This person is saying everything from ridiculous jokes to actually helpful things, like reminding us the name of the song that's coming next, maybe helping the singer remember a melody. Sometimes they're calling out chord changes. Maybe they're reminding us, hey, this is a hard ending, which means we're all cutting, or maybe this is a trash can ending. They're constantly giving little cues to help the band stay together. The MD is also incredibly helpful in moments where the band knows they messed up, but the audience never does. The MD can say, hey, drums, just play for a second, I'll bring the tracks back in, and all that crowd has to know is the drums just did a groove for 2 bars, and then the whole band kicked in, and they'll never know anything messed up. So MDs are great for helping solve problems, and they're also great for helping just give little reminders throughout the night.
Chord, crash, go.
Another thing that's helpful is our band's lead singer also has a talkback mic, and this lets him, if he's just feeling something else in the moment, reorder the set list on the fly, tell the band what's going on, and then the MD can kind of change what's happening in Ableton and cue that out to the rest of the band. That might sound incredibly complicated, but it actually works really smooth and really flawlessly. So I hope this video kind of helped you see it doesn't require a ton of rehearsal to be really good, but it requires some individual effort and really good resourcing from the people that are kind of helping run the band. So I would love to hear in your comments below, how are you helping resource your team? Where do you think you need help at? Is it on the Ableton front? Is it on the live music directing front? Is it on building resources? I'd love to be a resource and a help to you. Thank you so much. See you next time.